Hey there, Erin Lee here of heavenlymessenger.com. And I really wanted to do something special for the 22 Tuesday that we are experiencing today. So I'm really disappointed to say that we're going to do tonight. But there have been a couple of things that have been popping up for me Ah, there we go. So it looked like we were having a bit of an issue with the internet connection. I'll be really quick here. Oh, as another sign that we're not meant to be on tonight. But the things that have been popping into my head was actually an experience that I had with a friend many years ago. And he used to say all of a suddenly, and it drove me bonkers. All of a suddenly. It's either all of a sudden or suddenly, but never is it all of a suddenly. And so for years, oops, I'm being dive bombed by our hummingbirds now. For years, she would say this, and it would drive me crazy. And I would, really think to myself, man, I'm really glad that that's not something that I say, because it drives me so bonkers and so crazy. So anyway, several years after, uh, as we were friends, I found myself one day saying all of a suddenly, I thought, oh my goodness, Erin, what have you done? But I was thinking about this the other night in one of the best places that I think about things, which is the shower. And I thought to myself, this is a really good example of why we need to pay attention and be aware of the energy that we surround ourselves with. Because even if it's an energy that you're intentionally aware of that you don't want to take on, just the fact that you are in that energy or around that person it means that you can unintentionally take these things on. There's a lot that is happening in our world right now. There's a lot that's coming up on social media. One of my friends, Irene, is a reader out in Port Alberni, and she shared this post today about interacting on the internet and social media in particular for people who are empathic. And one of the things that it said was to give yourself permission to step away from the internet, to disconnect, to unfollow people or pages that are either sharing things that uh, are not comfortable. That's perhaps not the right way to put it, because I think that it is important that we are uncomfortable to a certain extent. That's part of how we grow. But when you're being bombarded by the same types of messages over and over, and you're like, this just doesn't feel right, this doesn't fit, then maybe it is time for change. As people who are empathic and sensitive, it is really important that we are paying attention to what we surround ourselves with, what we are intentionally and unintentionally consuming, by connecting with the people that we connect with, connecting with the businesses and the organizations that we connect with. It's important to pay attention to that energy, because whether it is something that you are actively aware of wanting to remove yourself from or to avoid, just by being around that energy, you have it's possible that you'll start taking that on yourself. One last thing that I wanted to talk about There we go. Okay, fingers crossed. The 22222 Tuesday that we are experiencing today, on February the 2nd, 2022. I've been seeing lots of people focusing on the idea of the 5 twos because it's the 22nd day of the second month of 22, but it's actually 6 twos because it's the 22nd day of the second month of 2022. And so while all of the energy that's coming up around like that 5 is still true and significant, I think it's important to numerologically look at the energy, both of 12, which breaks down to a 3, and 6. The energy of 3 is all about creativity. It's the balancing between the masculine and the feminine. It is finding your voice and finding ways to express yourself. It is a wonderful time to be focusing on partnerships, particularly romantic, but partnerships in general, finding ways that we're working with people. And the energy of 6 with the 6 twos that we have in the date today is also really significant as well. And the energy of 6 is all about home, family, relationships, and communication. So as much as it is important to focus on 5, which is all about change and aspects of new beginnings and possibly finding different ways to sort things out, because that's a lot of the energy of 5 too. It is a very strong, empowering number. Is looking at ways to communicate, to focus on our relationships, to focus on partnership and community where we can as well. So thank you all so much for joining me. I'm just going to pop on, and I see that there are a couple of people who have commented hello. So to Carrie, hello, Kathy. And Kathy saying the view is beautiful. We're really blessed to be here, that's for sure. Hi to Becky and Julie. I'd love to connect with you. And hello, Suzanne, as well. I'm not actually seeing people in person right now. I haven't through most of the pandemic. I'm not planning to see people in person at least until the summer, and there is the possibility that I won't physically have the space to do that during the summer either. So if you would like to connect, we can do so virtually. Phone, Skype, and Zoom are definitely options, and you can find that information on my website, bookingwitherin.com. Because I have started getting a lot of messages from people asking about in-person sessions, and I have no plans to go to in-person sessions for at least the next several months. I will be posting information about people who are seeing people in person right now. The only person who does readings that I'm aware of in the Comox Valley is Bobby, and you can find her information on Facebook. She is Bobby Roundtree, spiritual medium, I believe, but she also does born medium as well. So thank you all so much for joining me. It's a pleasure connecting with you. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way, and look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care.